being a feminist is just doing whatever you want to do and not being bashed by society for that. And obviously, yes, in society, like fixing that and through like the system. But yeah, I don't, oh my God.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Oh, yeah. Marco's back. No words for that. Serving up the fresh squeezed podcast juice for you. Another live Tuesday afternoon show. NSFW. Not suitable for work. Don't let the boss see the earbuds. We're talking about manly confidence in a minute. What it means, what it is, how to get it. Boulder Zone. We've also got some fun clips on masculinity from the guys over at Content Machines. For that. We've got a zesty. Let's get in here. And testosterone. Are you ready? Let's do this.
This is the Boulder Zone. The fusion of masculine advice and entertainment.
This is Sparta!
Here's your host, Marco Boulder.
I've got the chats up, the YouTube, the Facebook, the Twitch, all of it right there. Pick your poison. Opine accordingly. So, show today is about manly men. And manly men are confident men. People are attracted to men who project confidence. Sadly, too many of these men these days have really no confidence at all. Some mope around with their heads down, wallowing in self-pity. Others confuse masculine confidence with boyish cockiness. These men have confused confidence with being a straight-up douchebag. Manly confidence is quiet. It's unpretentious. You've seen it. The man who walks into the room with real confidence, people really see it. People pay attention to that. Everyone calls him an alpha male. But let's go ahead and take a look at him in action.
Now we have the beta male, also known as the Simpleton Maximus. He visits this local watering hole as it is a popular site for many Homo sapien mating rituals. A female approaches. The beta male makes his move. But before the beta male can make any inroads, an alpha male enters the domain. The alpha has captured the female's full attention. It would appear as though the alpha male will walk away victorious. But the beta male has a trick up his sleeve: gossip. He tells her that the alpha has been with many mates, hoping to deter the female's attraction and thus improve his chances with this potential mate. But it backfires and plays into the alpha's hand. The female is now curious as to why so many others before her have mated with him, and she is determined to find out. Much to the beta male's dismay, she leaves with the alpha. This is an unfortunate reality for betas worldwide. He will have to drink away his sorrows and go home alone. Or will he? Because there is another thirsty predator on the prowl, the Homo erectus.
I'm going to share with you some easy steps that should kickstart your confidence. First of all, It's really important to spruce up your appearance. Take a little time to properly groom and dress yourself. Does this mean you have to go all metrosexual? Is that even a word now? Is that I don't know. Put all these lathers and potions and creams on you? No, of course it doesn't. It means taking time to step up your basic grooming routine a bit and learn the basics of dressing appropriately. So, in addition to looking good, taking the time to look good for work in the morning is important too. Taking pride in your work appearance will raise your confidence. A good rule of thumb is to always dress so you wouldn't be embarrassed to see a woman for an impromptu lunch or an after work drink. Depending on your job, figure out the right balance of casualness and formality that makes you feel good. The next one is to set goals. I've said this before on other shows, and meet them. Confident men make goals and they keep them. Goals are promises that we make to ourselves. How can you have confidence in yourself and not keep a promise to yourself? Start making and keeping goals today by setting one goal that you can accomplish and then do it. If you're a person that feels unorganized, make it your goal to plan your day out and then execute. Do it. By setting and keeping small goals, you'll start to increase your confidence. And as your confidence increases, you'll be able to set and achieve bigger goals, which in turn boosts your confidence even more. Really, it's a self-feeding cycle, but it all begins with keeping small goals. Exercise. Really, nothing boosts manly confidence like working out. The increased blood flow makes you feel good, and the hormones release really boost your confidence. Look, you don't need a gym membership to start exercising. You can start today by doing just body weight exercises, just push-ups. Do 100 push-ups a day, 100 sit-ups a day. Get out and walk a couple of miles. All that takes hardly any time. The time it takes for you to look at your phone and look at social media and catch up on that, you could have all of that knocked out. Now, does anybody expect you to just bop out 100 push-ups day one? Well, probably not. It should always be your goal, but start in groups. Knock out 10. Switch over, maybe do 10 sit-ups. Go back and do the sit-ups or do the push-ups. Go back and forth, but keep increasing them. As you feel that you can get those 10 knocked out, make it 15, groups of 15, then 20. And then before you know it, you're knocking out 100 push-ups, and then you're knocking out 100 sit-ups, and you're the man. You're looking good. You're feeling good. Your confidence is up. You've lost some weight. It's not a difficult thing to do. You don't have to have a big rack of weights sitting there every day that you've got to throw around. It's really important to keep your mind engaged. And one of the better ways of doing that is to learn a new skill. Confident men are constant learners. By learning a new skill, you'll demonstrate to yourself that you're capable of adapting to anything that life throws at you. There are thousands of skills that you can acquire. Find one you've always wanted to know and get to work on it. You want to know a martial art? Call up a dojo, sign up for a class, see how it works out for you. I can tell you this much. I've had a little background in that, and you will work muscles that you didn't know that you had. So you're knocking out your push-ups, you're knocking out your sit-ups, you're going on your 2-mile walk, and you join something like that. You're going to have that workout, muscle fatigue that you thought you got past with all the push-ups and sit-ups, but it's a good thing. You want to work as many of those as possible. Now, I want to talk about 9 easy ways to feel more confident. I think we all know self-confidence is extremely sexy to a woman. Let's face it, for many of us, that is a motivating factor all on its own. Although it shouldn't be the primary one, it is. Females want someone who's not going to run from a fight, a man who is confident in his ability to provide and protect. Simply put, bravado gets the girl. So if you want to be more attractive to women, show a little swagger. But, don't be one of those assholes that pounds their chest and goes to the bar and picks a fight with a drunk at the end of it. Now we're back to talking about that boyish cockiness that just kind of really makes you look like a dick. So speaking of bravado and swagger.
Do you want to get out of here?
No, I'm good.
What?
No, thank you.
Oh, I get it. You have a girlfriend.
No, actually.
Oh, you're one of those waiting till marriage types?
Nope.
You're into guys. That's what it is. You're into guys.
Nope, just not interested.
Am I not pretty enough?
I think you're really pretty.
Is it my butt? Is my butt too small?
Oh, no, you have a fat dumpy. Well, it's just that once I got to know your personality, I completely lost interest in you.
That's from the guys over at Content Machine. I just ran into those a few days ago, and they were kind enough to let me go ahead and roll them on the show. But anyway, let's talk about dating for a second. If you're tiptoeing through the dating minefield, let me give you a few tips there on how to carry yourself that will probably help you from getting blown up. First of all, your walk. Women first look at your attire, and then second, how you walk. Especially when you're out, keep your wardrobe stylish and impeccable. Okay, that's a big part of it. You can have the stride going on and the Saturday Night Fever get down going on there. But if you look like shit in your clothes, the whole vibe is lost. So look around. Find a guy that pulls off a good look and emulate it. There's nothing wrong with that. So your stride, just mentioned that, slow down. A confident man is not a man that's in a hurry, but there's a difference between meandering and walking slowly with a purpose. Always walk as if you know what you're doing and you know where you're going. Number 2, look into her eyes. If locking eyes with a woman makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, look at her nose instead. She really won't know the difference. Also, women respond best to realistic compliments. Something like, "You're the physical embodiment of everything I look for in a woman," will immediately send off her bullshit alarm. Things like, say something like, "You've got beautiful eyelashes." That should make her blush, and she will instantly know you're paying attention to her. Women crave attention. I'll say it again. Women crave attention. Now, there's a balance you've got to work on there. You just start pouring it on, and guess what? That bullshit alarm is going to go off again. The next thing that's really important is to be able to take a compliment. When she says she likes your dimples, simply smile and say thank you. Responses like, "Oh, you really think so?" Or, "Yeah, I don't think so," drops you dangerously close to looking insecure to her. Secure men accept praise gracefully and without much ado. You've had the date. Okay? She's giving you the number. Make sure that you call her within the next couple of days. Now, I know what everybody says about that. You look desperate and whatnot, but really, you should use it within the first 48 hours, or you'll really either look scared or stupid for playing high school mind games. If you're nervous, think of her as a respected work friend. Okay. Now we've got our friends at work that we clown around with, but there's always the the people that we bring a professionalism to their work, and we've got a real positive relationship with them, and it's based out of respect. Kind of adopt that attitude when you go out on a date. And it's really more of an executive attitude. A good executive is action oriented. They listen and gather information and waste no time getting a project started. Think along those lines. Begin to apply those tactics to your private life, but don't turn into that dick boss when the confidence starts coming up. Okay, so you've had the date. You're calling her, things kind of went well. You're going to call her for a second date. If you get her voicemail, to convey your confidence, your voice should always be deep and moderately loud. If you're nervous, stand up and hum or something like that before you call. It will kind of bring your voice to the ideal pitch, and you won't have, hi, Becky, this is Marco. You'll kind of get some sound out, and you'll get your voice where it should be. On the phone, say who you are, remind her of the previous date and why you're calling. Ask a question that presupposes her interest in you, like, how soon would you like to get together again? That way, it's not a matter of yes or no. It's an open-ended question. Leave your number and ask her to call you back. Pretty simple, right? But if you are in the dating minefield, as I said before, a lot of guys, we're kind of like, we don't know the right thing to say, or we've forgotten the right thing to say, or the proper thing to say. It just seems like we've got so many moving targets. It just gets complicated. And that's why guys go their own way. Now, if she doesn't call you back in the next couple of days, don't get that, oh, she's not interested, or, I'll look desperate if I call her again. Just get that shit out of your head. There could be 1,000 legitimate personal reasons why she hasn't called back, and that has nothing to do with you. Your follow-up shows nothing but interest to her. She's going to see that. That attention is what she will appreciate. Remember this, people don't think about you as much as you think they're thinking about you. Just relax. Don't expose your negatives. This is a biggie. I know when people are going out for the first few times, they get on the subject of themselves and won't shut the fuck up. They start talking about themselves, and the good leads to the bad, and their divorce is brought up, and that's a date killer. You may have the right one in front of you, but if you don't change that behavior and just put those negatives aside and just keep things positive, that will probably be your last date. Stick to your best attributes and the interests that you're most passionate about, but don't overdo it. Don't let that passion just overtake the conversation. Give a press release version of you. Tell her everything good about your life that you wouldn't mind seeing in a 4-inch high letters on the front of the newspaper. I don't think anybody reads newspapers anymore. When you sit down at the table, if it's for a dinner date or for drinks, position yourself at a 90-degree angle to her instead of straight on or straight across from her. If she sits at the end of the table, sit at the seat to the left side of her, one right there. Turn toward her. This will give her the opportunity to turn toward you. Next one, be direct. Skip the lame excuse about needing to use the bathroom. Want to kiss her goodnight? Go for it. Kissing to her is an emotional thing, And asking permission kind of diverts it more into a cognitive realm. In that moment, women really don't like that, especially if she's digging you. They're kind of wanting to go with the vibe. In your conversation on the date, acknowledge her success. A confident man doesn't feel emasculated if the woman he's with makes her own money. Now, you'll never hear this on social media. That said, if she seems a bit selective in her partner choices, it's probably because she's tired of dating arrogant or insecure boys. The truth is, she wouldn't date you if she didn't think you were worth it. Be the man that stands above the boys. When you believe it yourself, she will be convinced. Okay, the bill. Nowadays, the younger generations are about going Dutch, and whoever asks pays, and there's all of these new rules. Look, whatever you decide with your date that doesn't cause a problem or get in the way or cast a bad light on you, just go for it. But I'm telling you, old school has its benefits. Whether I ask or she asks for the date, I would at least pay for the first one, even if she offers. I know, like I said, all you hear in social media is that when a woman agrees to a date, they are justified to expect that free meal because they have to spend so much money on their clothes and their makeup, and if they got kids, a babysitter, and all that sort of stuff. For many women, that is true. But the cost and the labor as a female to bring her best to a date, as you should be doing, is not your responsibility. Okay? And that's not being a chauvinist. That's not being an asshole. That's just fact. If she wants to find a man and date a man, there's things that she has to do to appeal to that man. Just like you, gentlemen, you have to do the things to appeal to her. But this is one of the reasons I'm going to respect that to a certain extent. And this is one of the reasons why I have no problem, paying for that first date. If she is a woman of means and she makes her own money and she's insistent upon it, say, hey, just get the tip. That'll be good enough. Or, hey, if you want to go to the bar next door, you get the first round of drinks. Okay? Engage her, make her feel like you respect that aspect about her. Okay? But don't make a big fucking deal about it. Now, if you discover she has that feminist attitude on your date, and this is going to be, it could be a bit of an argument, who pays and that sort of thing. Look, my attitude is this: end the date at the bread plate. That's my saying. There's no reason to sit there and suffer through something that is not going to work out. Okay. Now, if it's a good date that presents additional opportunities, really, my opinion isn't that worth the price of a nice meal and drinks? For your peace of mind, when you're planning the second date, ask her about the dinner check. If there was something a little off about that, but it went okay, just ask her about the dinner check. Make it clear that you're only inquiring because of the sensitive nature of feminism nowadays, and just like to know where she stands. A couple things happen here. You'll find out where she stands, but her reply will give you some insights if her values match up to yours. I think a big thing that I know men face, I think we all face this, is expectations on a date. I'd be really remiss if I didn't mention it here. While confidence is absolutely necessary in everything you do, including dating, don't expect the best if you don't bring the best. It is an unfortunate reality that men and women overestimate their value. Even as a confident man, it's still not reasonable for you to think that you will find a meaningful relationship from a female that is a 10. In reality, guys, they don't exist. The ones that believe that they are definitely are not. They may look damn good on the outside, but the minute they open their mouth, they'll prove anything but. Am I right? How many guys have run into this? Hot, dressed nice, carries yourself well, engage in a conversation, and there's nothing upstairs, or there's arrogance just dripping off her, acting like I'd rather go fishing. See ya. Unless you guys are in that top 1% of high value males that are used to dealing with these sort of gold diggers, just don't waste your time on them. A true 10 is not a package. It's not a shell, and should always be relative to your tastes and standards. We can go on Fresh and Fit and some of these other shows, and it just amazes me how they ask the women where they rate. And almost every single one of them say there's a 10. They're a 10. And if they're asked, how do you rate women generally? Your friends, 10. It's all women default to a 10, no matter how they look, no matter how polluted their brain is, no matter how they lack intellectual agility, they're all 10s. But then you turn around and ask them, so that guy over there, what do you rate him? 4? Okay, so there's a double standard here. Most women want a long-term relationship. If you run into one...
Ooh, hey there, handsome.
Here we go again.
Yeah, you looking like a long-term relationship in that quarter zip.
It's just comfortable, okay?
I bet you'd look even better in a suit, navy 3-piece.
Would you please stop dressing me with your eyes?
I'm just trying to get a +1 to a wedding this Saturday. You interested?
Wow, some men still believe in the sanctity of Saturdays being for the boys, actually.
Ooh, you look like you have the income that could support a family of 4, and you make a great father.
All women see me for is a potential father. I am much more than that. I could be a daddy. I could be a zaddy. I could be that bad guy who you hit up late at night who comes over to choke you.
Whoa, settle down. When's the last time you got long-term relationship?
That is none of your business.
Oh, jeez, you're so tense. Why don't you come back to my place and we could open a bottle of wine and snuggle all night long?
I don't know what kind of simps you're talking to, but the only wine I'm drinking is out of a bag. And by the way, I don't snuggle. I pork no condi.
Jeez, okay, if you don't want a long-term relationship, just say so.
I shouldn't have to, okay? I should be able to come out in public without women harassing me for commitment.
Well, you may not be looking to be a boyfriend, but with that outfit, you're asking for it.
Wow, all you women want is a long-term relationship.
Yeah, well, you're not even that dateable anyway. What's up?
I want to thank the guys over at Content Machine for all of those clips. You can check out all of their hilarious work out on YouTube and Patreon. And they're doing quite well. So if you haven't seen them, I'd be surprised. Okay, let's talk about confidence if you are already in a relationship. This past weekend, I ran into a client that I hadn't seen in a long time, and he thanked me by saying that a switch had been flipped on for him in his mind. I told him a long time ago about when his masculine coaching kicks in, and he finally sees things differently than he did before, and a calm confidence overcomes you. This is the point where a man finally stops freezing and hesitating in difficult situations and conversations with people, and his thoughts and words flow more easily than before. It's where we all want to be. Right before this switch flips on, most men look at life and relationships as things that happen to you. And you look at those men that seem to have their shit together and are trying to figure out how to act more like them. It's that point, despite all of the videos and the podcasts you've watched and all the books you've read and all the time you spent in the chat groups, there's still something missing. Maybe you studied the red pill versus the blue pill, or alpha male versus beta male, all those concepts. And you think that just if you channeled that a little bit more, then your wife, your partner, your kids, your boss, hell, your dog might have responded better to you, but they don't. Why is that? It's because they can see that you still give a shit about how they respond to you. You're still giving them the power over whether you have a good day or a bad day. You've been acting like a man of personal value and power instead of just fucking being one. So what does that mean? I think it's a good idea to think about a role model such as John Wayne or your dad or whoever you want to emulate. It's good to think about the values and the confidence and the energy that you admire in them, but don't mimic them. You have to work on your own self-respect. Nail down the standards and the boundaries that drive the way that you think and the way that you speak and act. After you capture that, the very next thing you'll learn is that what other people think of you doesn't fucking matter. They really don't want it to matter either. They don't want the burden of seeing you react to their opinion of you. Here's what they do want. They want to feel the confidence you have in yourself, in what you believe. They want to feel safe and comfortable with your calm, deliberate, and pleasing ability to live outside your own skin. And they want to experience your general compassion and non-negotiable sense of purpose. They want to see that your happiness is driven by how well you're living in alignment with your values and not by what other people give or don't give you. So how do you get there? How do you get that switch to flip? It happens automatically when you've done enough work with the right men. This is about seeing the truth in two things. How have you been showing up as a man? And how have you created a space that has allowed others to make you feel emasculated, ignored, disrespected? I don't know. I think I might be having some internet problems here, folks. And forgive me for the issues that we're having here today. You know, I live down on the Gulf Coast and we get some heavy rains and winds and that sort of thing. And it really wreaks havoc with our broadband, our internet that we have, the businesses and the homes and everything else. And that's all I can think that it would be. We'll continue on. Hopefully you're still here with me, and we'll drive on and try to keep the production going without too many glitches. Okay, so I think we left it at talking about a man that has his shit together. Such a man really has embodied a set of personal standards and boundaries that drives the way he thinks and the way he feels. He's created a new mindset and masculine frame that communicates to everyone what he expects of himself and for himself. And his calm, non-negotiable energy is unmistakable. It's incredibly attractive to women, and it's incredibly attractive to men. People want to be his friend. They want to work with him. That's where you go when that switch flips. And that's what I want to show you. I work with guys who are ready to flip their switch, grab their balls, and get back to the life that he wants. Heads up, your woman cannot get you there. And honestly, she doesn't want to. Trust me on that. If you want to learn more about how to take a bigger step toward being a clear-headed, confident man of action, give me a call or shoot me an email. I'll be happy to help you get there. Our first call is always free, and it will give you a big boost to confidence. After long, I'll help you lead yourself and your relationship back to good health. I'll help you understand why your woman acts the way she does towards you. You'll learn how to take your life in the direction you want to go. Listen, you may have sat on a nice office couch pouring your heart out to a marriage counselor. How did that work out for you? No, I'm not trying to besmirch them, but a lot of times, I've said this in other shows, it goes on and on and on and on. And a lot of the issues that are dealt with are symptomatic rather than getting to the cause, the core. Let me make it clear. My advice is not therapy. This isn't a deep dive into your past to dissect all the excuses that you had when you're feeling insecure or inadequate. Listen, you can have the relationship you want, fulfill your desires while maintaining the love and respect that you thought you'd lost. If you apply the common sense things I tell you, you will become a clearer, stronger, more confident man. There we go. We're back. Hello. Anyway, there you go. There's the interview and appointment phone number and line there. You know, while you're at it, do this too. If you haven't subscribed yet, good God, go ahead and just do it now. I'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, between our live shows, you can see us out there on YouTube at Boulder Zone. That is our identifier out there at Boulder Zone. Our footprint is out there on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Come on and say hello there and leave a comment. Our website, well, it used to be back there, is boulderzone.com. That's the hub for everything we do, boulderzone.com. Until next time, you know what to do. Bye.